Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's webinar. The topic is Managing Cholesterol and will be presented by Orthis Health Health Coach, Crystal Henderson. Crystal?
Good morning, and thank you, Dawn. Good morning, everyone, again, and thank you all for joining us for this month's webinar. Again, we will be discussing managing your cholesterol. So today we will review cholesterol, why it is so important to manage, and also how to actually manage it. So cholesterol is a waxy substance. It's not bad, not all bad. In fact, your body does need it to build cells in your body, but too much can pose a problem. So cholesterol is produced by the liver and is also made by most of the cells in the body. And the remainder of the cholesterol in your body comes from food derived from animal products. So, for example, meat, poultry, and full-fat dairy products all contain cholesterol, which is referred to as dietary cholesterol. We need a small amount of blood cholesterol because the body, like I mentioned before, does use it to build cell membranes, and it also makes hormones that we need, such as estrogen, testosterone, and adrenal hormones. It also helps your metabolism work efficiently. And for example, cholesterol is essential for your body to produce vitamin D and bile acids, which help the body digest fat and absorb the important nutrients. So cholesterol circulates in the blood. As the amount of cholesterol in your body increases, so does the risk to your health. This is why it's really important to get your cholesterol tested so that you can know your levels. We'll go through each of the types of cholesterol, but for starters, it is LDL, which is considered bad, and HDLs, which is considered to be good. So too much of the bad kind or not enough of the good increases the risk that cholesterol will slowly build up in the inner walls of our arteries that feed the heart and the brain. And cholesterol, high cholesterol, I should say, is one of the major controllable risk factors for coronary heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. So other risk factors include high blood pressure, tobacco use, diabetes, being overweight, physical inactivity, age, and family history. So it's really important to check, change, and control. So check your cholesterol levels is key to knowing your numbers, changing your diet and lifestyle to help improve your levels, and controlling your cholesterol with the help from your doctor. So these are the recommended levels of each of the cholesterol. Normal is going to be less than 200. When you get in the borderline high category, it's going to be 200 to 239. And then the high category is going to be anything 240 and above. So now the good cholesterol, high density lipoprotein. So this can be thought of as, like I mentioned, the good cholesterol. So in the case where your HDLs are higher, that's going to be the best thing. So it's believed that experts do believe that HDLs act as a scavenger, carrying the bad cholesterol, LDLs, and we'll get into that, away from the arteries and back to the liver, where the LDL is actually broken down and passed from the body, but HDL cholesterol does not completely eliminate LDL cholesterol. 1/3 to about 1/4 of blood cholesterol is carried by your HDLs. So a healthy HDL level of cholesterol can really help protect against heart attack and stroke. So, and studies also show that low levels of HDLs increase the risk of heart disease. Now let's get into the bad cholesterol. So LDLs, or low density lipoprotein, is considered to be bad. It's one of the major components of the plaque that clogs the arteries, and it increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. So, because the LDL is considered to be bad, and because it does contribute to those fatty buildups in the arteries, and it causes a condition that basically narrows the arteries, and which again increases your risk for heart attack, stroke, and heart disease. Next, we are triglycerides, and these are the fats in the blood. They're also coming from extra calories in the body that are converted then into triglycerides and then stored as fat cells. So high levels of triglycerides combined with low HDL cholesterol or high LDL cholesterol is associated with increased risk of heart disease and stroke. So it is the most common type of fat in the body, and really you just want to make sure that you have a good ratio to triglycerides to HDLs and to LDLs. Now we'll get into managing cholesterol levels, just with learning some of the foods that we can eat. So eating more fruits and vegetables can really help just maintain and manage cholesterol levels. Try to select whole grains when you are going to go for the whole grain products. Try to choose low-fat protein sources. Limit your saturated fat, trans fat, and foods that are higher in cholesterol. So this is where it's going to be really important to read your labels, because you want to make sure that you are consuming a low amount. Limit any added sugars. Also, try to limit your sodium, and then having alcohol in moderation can also just help you manage your cholesterol levels. Protein. So try to go with lean protein. It's very important. Choosing plant-based proteins and proteins that are high in fiber, and as well as the plant proteins that are high in fiber and protein. Choosing leaner cuts of meat. Try to look for the words round or loin in ground meats that are 93% lean or higher. Try to remove any visible fat or skin from meat, and really try to switch to some healthy cooking methods such as roasting, broiling, grilling, stir frying, steaming, and stewing. So oils are really important to use in moderation. You'll naturally find some oils found in fish, nuts, and some vegetables, and some healthier choices include canola oil, olive oil, sesame, flaxseed, peanut, and vegetable oil. Some tropical oils such as palm oil and palm kernel oil and coconut oil can also trigger your liver to make more cholesterol, and these are often found in baked goods. You kind of want to just be mindful of those as well. Next, we'll get into exercise. So one way exercise can help lower your cholesterol is by helping you lose or maintain your weight. As I mentioned before, being overweight and physical inactivity, they do tend to increase the amount of low-density lipoprotein or LDLs in your blood, and these are the kind that are linked to heart disease. So, in general, it is recommended to have a minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity, moderate or vigorous exercise, such as walking, biking, gardening, or jogging. This is really going to help just improve your mood. It lowers your cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, and blood pressure. And it also just increases your good cholesterol, which, as I mentioned, is going to be your protective factor against things such as heart disease. So first, exercise does basically stimulate the enzymes that help move the LDLs from the blood to the liver. So, and this is where everything is converted for your digestion. And then, so the more you exercise, the more LDLs your body expels. So exercise also does increase the size of the protein particles that carry the cholesterol through the blood, and which helps just lower your risk of heart disease. So try to increase your activity as much as you can to just help lower your risk for any onset of those illness or disease. That concludes this month's webinar. Thank you again for joining, and be sure to contact your coach with any additional questions or concerns. We are here to support you in any way that we can, and have a healthy day.